How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
Just keep calm while KL Rahul is there and while KL Rahul is home. And he said, leave it to me. This will be my season. This could be Delhi's season. The first time ever that the Delhi franchise has started with 4 wins in an IPL season. And while RCB made a real fight of it at the Chinnaswamy, there's a little bit of rain to add to the drama. But the Capitals prevailed courtesy of a partnership of 111 between KL Rahul and Tristan Stubbs. So much to talk about on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket Info Timeout in the fine company. The former RCB head coach in Sanjay Bangar and Piyush Chawla, who's taken many wickets at the Chinnaswamy, and Dustin, who has watched many games at the Chinnaswamy.
I haven't even.
You have not?
Not even allowed in the
What are you
stadium.
talking? Didn't we have an office in Bangalore all those? You still never went to the Chinnaswamy?
Oh, I actually did watch some games.
What a guy. Forget it. I'm not...
Celebrity Cricket League I watched.
Dustin, go. Leave. I'm bringing Matt back now only. KL Rahul has to be the first conversation. I'm glad Dustin is with me for this day.
Because I'm a big KL fan.
Yeah. Your history with KL Rahul for regular Cricket Info watchers, we know. But today we'll talk about just what we saw from KL today, given the situation he came in and how he's taken the game home. What stands out for you, Sanjay Bangar?
I thought to start with, he wasn't the composed KL Rahul that you would expect. He was searching for the boundaries in the first 6 overs or so because runs were hard to come by. But after that, the way he controlled the innings, I mean, after they lost, whom did they lose in the 3rd or the 4th wicket? After that, he was just absolutely in control because he had that conversation with Stubbs that, okay, let's look to knock it around for a couple of overs. Then attacked Krunal Pandya, then took on Livy as well. Some of the shots were actually very courageous and bold shots at that particular stage. And then the way he calculated that assault on Hazelwood was terrific batsmanship, lovely to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that period Sanjay's talking about, he was dropped on 5, then he was moving about and whatnot. It just suddenly we saw different KL Rahul after that. He doesn't need to move to play an innings like that.
Well, especially when a player in this kind of a form, he got runs earlier. Before that, he was playing for India, playing on those tough pitches where he was getting runs. So I think after that, as Sanjay bhai mentioned, that the way he, made his inning out of it out in the end, it was really special to watch.
Show us some love, Dustin. Come on, break it down.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just found, his place. He looks like he's really enjoying his cricket, right, Sanjay? He's in the first innings as well, when he was keeping, you could see he was getting involved in all the conversations, even for reviews. He was kind of joking around with the players. How much does that matter? How much a player is actually enjoying their environment to their performance?
I think it's all a matter of internal joy and internal enjoyment that you're seeking for. No doubt, I mean, all the IPL franchises would want the environment to be top-notch and the results are happening. So all that is good. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you should be happy with what you're doing out there on the field. And that happiness and that confidence comes from good preparation and good thought process. So at the moment, I feel that KL Rahul, with the kind of experience that he's had, and mind you, he was again moving out of the place wherein he batted last game itself. So that tells you something about his batsmanship.
I just wonder how much the Champions Trophy meant to put KL Rahul in that place of a big tournament winner, to see him go over the line and him playing such a big role. We've never doubted KL's ability. Question was, whether we can see this on a regular basis with him having to shift in roles. And do you sense, having just achieved success, felt that champion mentality makes any difference to how you then turn up at an IPL?
See, he's been plagued by injuries at various times of his careers, and what happens generally is that because you have batted in so many positions, I believe that it also improves you as a batsman. And KL Rahul has gone up and down so much in the batting order that he understands the game situation so well. And there was a time in this innings especially, once he got ahead of the Duckworth-Lewis, after that he shifted gears again. Otherwise, 100%. If at all there was any other batsman who was batting in that cavalier fashion against Hazelwood, he would have probably ended up making a mistake. But here, he was willing to push the accelerator when it was required, and then again coming back and being in control of himself and playing those shots.
Well, I agreed. He looked totally in control after that, and it's very important to calculate because 163 at one point of time when RCB bowlers started bowling looked like a big total. But once you are in the control of yourself, your inning, so one good partnership, 2 good overs, you are in the game, and that's what exactly happened. KL Rahul was there. He's in the man form. The way he batted, he made it look so easy in the last. And it's very important.
Justin, hear him here. You're watching our show also. You love this show.
No,
Anyway,
I was just looking for
what
some
about-
stat, but
Go on. Please don't let us stop you. Carry on. What about just a new franchise? And it looks like it's the reset he just might have needed. And being relieved of any captaincy burden, if I can call it that, in his particular case.
Well, when you go to a new franchise, it's very important to start well. Because when you go to a new franchise, there are a lot of expectations from you. And then when you start well, your team is winning. So everything falls in place. And that's what exactly happened. You know, when you were playing against Chennai on a difficult surface, he played that crucial knock. And today, when the team was in different situation, the way he batted today, it's all comes from within. You know, you have feeling happy from within, and you know I'm in good form. If I'll bat till the last, I can finish off the game for the team, and that's what exactly happened today. After that first few balls, he never tried to do anything special. He just played his normal game, his basic cricket. He was just following the process, to be very honest.
I'm just trying to think of whether there's any weakness actually in KL the batter. Unlike a lot of batters, technically, and you're best to say this, because once he's in this mood, it almost looks like you have to, as a bowling team, wait for him to do something to get out. There's nothing you can really do to get him out. Is that fair to say?
And at one point, I just felt his striking abilities was such that he didn't really start in this fashion as a typical T20 player. He was more that rock solid test player that you would expect in 2015. But I think the change came when we played a one-off match in
the USA,
in Florida.
Yes, against the West Indies.
That was an innings wherein he just transformed himself and found a new KL in him. And after that, I think the kind of returns that he's had in wide ball cricket at the top of the order have been absolutely phenomenal. Just that because of injuries, other batsmen coming up and he had to shift down the order, the opportunities dried up a little bit. And because we are so obsessed with those numbers, his impactful innings towards the end in wide ball cricket haven't really been valued that much.
To be fair, Sanjay, you can understand why India decided to move on from him also. In the T20 team at least, if not he's still very much, I think, part of the ODI setup. And I think I did an interview with him towards the end of last year where he said, I know why I'm not in this Indian team now. I've understood the kind of cricket I need to play. So I'm trying to think of whether he himself has just, once he realizes what he needs to be, then there's no stopping him. Many times we've heard many pundits say that the only thing stopping KL is KL.
Well, I mean,
I
it's a
don't know
hard one to
whether you have
answer,
anything
but
to say,
for me, he's been around for a long periods of time, has probably played some of the important innings of his career, and if you look at the test players that we've had opening the innings and you compare, he's probably the top 5 right-handed opening batsman to play for the country. If you really think hard. And as far as opening batsman is concerned, whom would you think of after Mr. Gavaskar? It would be
Viru, obviously.
Viru or a Murali Vijay, who came in third. And apart from that, nobody has got those important 9 or 10 hundreds in mostly overseas conditions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doubting. It's just somehow, there's something about the KL Rahul story that leaves something left, to not be satisfied. I don't know. You're a contemporary of him. You've played so much against
the kind of talent he possesses. You expect much more than what he is doing at the moment.
That's it. I think that's the one.
Yeah. So that's what I feel, because when I saw KL Rahul first, breaking from under 19s, I saw him and he looked special at that time itself. And you get a feeling when you see a special player and you feel that this guy will make it big. He was one of those. And then again, same thing. The kind of talent he has, so we expect much more than what he has done, and we know he's capable of doing much more than that. But for me, the best thing is, it's not about the number of runs you have got, the number of impactful runs you have got.
Sure.
In Champions Trophy, the way he batted, I'm sure on those difficult pitches against that soft ball, because he was coming lower down the order and getting those crucial runs, that would have done a great for his confidence, and that you can see in this.
Yeah, sure. 100%.
And he's also spoken about it himself this season, right? He said that he's had a slight change in mindset where, he knows now that T20s is all about boundaries and that's what his focus is on, and that's why he's got that other gear, because the fact is that was the only conversation at times about him before in the IPL was intent in the power play. Sometimes his strike rate was on the lower end of batters in the power play. But, I mean, he's talking about it himself, how he's seeing his game differently.
I give you a lot of time to dig up some stats. Anything you've dug up now?
Nah,
Or
if
it's just
I
a
switch it on,
appreciation?
then we're going
But use your phone. Who's stopping you? It's not before a match. I'm not anti-corruption taking your phone away. All right. On that note, let's talk about the supporting cast of Tristan Stubbs, because at that stage, Piyush 4 for 58. Akshar has got out. And we were thinking whether that shot from Akshar was not on, given what they were trying to do to stay in the game. But Tristan Stubbs has also played his part.
Well, it was a kind of wicket which, it was a tricky pitch, but knowing the quality of spin bowling which RCB has, Suyash Sharma was bowling really well.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, when Krunal came to bowl, he didn't try to spin the ball at all. And this was a kind of pitch. It's not that you'll come and just roll your finger, it will help you as a spinner. You actually have to spin the ball. And that's where Rahul took his chances. But Akshar at the same time, he wanted to go against the wrist spinner and wanted to take charge of it. But after his dismissal, the way Stubbs batted, he used his mind, the way he batted, he supported KL. And that was really good to watch, because he is somebody who can really take on against the spinners as well. But he didn't do that. He just wanted to be there with KL because he knows there's not much batting left after that. So sometimes that cricket smartness is very important, and that's what he did today.
I'm curious about, and we'll talk a little bit about the surface here, and Andy Fla's comments I'll bring in a little while, but why did Kuldeep and Suyash get so much more and look threatening than Akshar and Krunal, where both seem much easier to take down?
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to explain. This is a kind of surface, when we talk about the good pitch, so it was actually a good pitch. There was a help for the spinners, but only for those spinners who was trying to spin the ball, who were ready to give those revs, little bit of air. Only then it will help you. If you think a rank turner is what? Where anyone can come and just roll their finger and the ball starts spinning.
Yeah.
But on this kind of surfaces, you actually have to put in those effort. You have to make sure that your body is behind the ball, you're putting enough force and you're giving those revs. That's why Kuldeep, Suyash and Vipraj, they all looked really good on this.
Tell us your thoughts on the surface too, because Andy Flower, I think if I have to recap what he said is, what the power play led us to believe the surface was, it wasn't that. It was slower, it was holding a little bit. We saw the Jitesh Sharma wicket, which you can clearly see a batter who's threw the shot before, So what does that tell us? And whether this is a second Chinnaswamy pitch in this year that's been unlike what we know of the Chinnaswamy Stadium and the run-friendly ground that it is.
I think it's got to do a lot to do with the approach, not necessarily the pitch, because if you think that they got off to a great start, maybe 63 in first 6 or 61 without loss at one point in time, and then there were no demons in the pitch. But then after that, you saw batsman after batsman really going for the big ones. Probably they were thinking 200, they weren't really thinking of maybe getting to a 180, which is a slightly curious case, because even Virat Kohli, for that matter, in this particular innings, he batted differently. He looked a totally different batter, because I believe that he's also gotten into that mindset of, let's get to 220 and let's...
Slightly more ultra aggressive, certainly more aggressive than Virat's normal standards, even by last year.
You were mentioning, in fact, Sanjay, I think in one of the previous games, that it's tough to get batters out of that mode once you set up for the season saying, we have to play ultra aggressive. Again, as a coach, is this a time of the season now where you're seeing slightly lower scores, where you have that conversation saying we need to kind of rethink the batting strategy?
Well, some of those conversations can be individual, because if there is a diktat from the team and the team management that, okay, they want to play in a particular fashion, take the game on and so forth, but it's not going to come off every other match. There are going to be matches wherein it may not click. There may be surfaces which may require slightly change of approach, and those are the adjustments which generally the high quality players make, not necessarily the players who are there to do the character roles, not necessarily the major roles.
Right, let's bring in, and there are a lot of more cricketers we want to talk about who set this game up, many moments, but I'm sure they'll come through to your comments. So fire them across to the panel if you're watching on our YouTube live. Abhishek wants to know, is this the best KL Rahul innings in recent years? Wow, what a player he is. Let's take IPL. Let's take IPL. Is that the best KL IPL?
I'll just tell you one stat that I was looking up, which is that the last 14 balls he played, he scored 42, which is a strike rate of 300. But what's incredible is that he middled all of those. Like his control percentage was 100, even while scoring at 300, which is very rare. Usually in an innings like that, you'll have, you know, if you're going that hard, you'll have a few edges, a few miscues that still go for 6. But at least according to our stats, he's middled everything.
On that note, and this is what I wanted to bring in, and triple stroke brings up the point. A lot of those 14 balls would have been when that little drizzle started.
Yeah.
Did the drizzle make conditions better?
It does, because a little bit of drizzle also on the pitch. So the surface which was holding up, it stopped doing that then.
Yeah. Even that Suyash over that we saw, it wasn't like the previous 3
Exactly.
Suyash overs. So did that, in some way, can we say RCB were a little bit unlucky actually with the timing of that rain?
I thought the quality of shots from KL Rahul in that Hazelwood over, because the rain really started to come down probably towards the second half of that over. And I believe that was the difference between winning and losing. Even if the game had to stop at that particular point, the changing, defining moment was the way KL Rahul picked up those shots against.
And
They were behind the DLS
Yeah,
par,
he must have
and
known.
I think he knew it.
I think he knew that once the drizzle came down, he has to score quickly so that they get above the DLS. So that actually worked. I mean, it worked out well for Delhi because then they got that momentum and then they just went with it.
Yeah, his state buddy Karun Nair ran out actually with a sheet.
Yeah.
We know Mr. Badani writes a lot of things. I'm sure he would have been very aware of the.
But I think he
DLS
started to go
par.
hard even before he got the sheet. I think he just had that awareness that we're probably behind the rate and he started to go hard. There was also, I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a there was a long conversation between Kohli and Dinesh Karthik during the next over of Suyash Sharma. It was quite animated. It seemed like Virat was upset about something. Do you have any idea what that could have been about? About
is
maybe
this?
a bowling change?
What is this?
Actually, I missed the portion that you were mentioning about. But the point that I was wanting to
Please,
make
Sanjay, please make that sensible point.
was about, you know, why the players have to run out with a sheet. Because I believe, and those are one of the points that we made as a suggestion, that the big scoreboard that we have, there is usually a place for a Duckworth-Lewis score. And for that matter, the batter should be looking at the scorecard or the scoreboard.
I'll just defend that if I can, that you also, it changes with every ball, right? If you're getting into ball territory. And you also sometimes might want to know what it changes as with a wicket. I've seen those DLS sheets and you know what they look like, right? So you have so even if they would have lost a wicket after 2 boundaries, they were still ahead. There was that calculation. Then there was that. Since I empathize with the rule makers, as you would know, Mr. Bangar. But it's a very good suggestion. And also, I've seen many grounds, it's not easy at times to even read off the big screen. It's not necessarily high definition 4K like we have in your house or
not
or
everybody
Piyush's
is as
house.
intelligent as you are.
Not at all.
I watch everything on iPad.
iPad, yeah. Well, they don't allow those. Let's take some more questions, shall we? Uday Verma is saying, relying on Krunal and Livingston for 4 overs in every game could prove to be tough for RCB.
Well, I just said just few minutes back that on a pitches like this, where you need somebody to actually spin the ball, so there it will be difficult for them. We all know like Krunal is a kind of bowler who can actually deliver well in under pressure situation, but sometimes you have to go back to your basics and just bowl a normal test match bowling where you're just trying to spin the ball. So that has to be there, because every time if you're bowling Yorkers and bouncers, but sometimes you have to try to spin the ball, and today was the day. It was that kind of a pitch.
Yeah, Devang Sharma, I have rated Patidar's captaincy very high, but to give the Livingston the over at that stage, he's not happy with it. Let's just put it that way. I won't read the rest of it. It could have been a gamble, but it gave DC momentum. Patidar's captaincy?
See, overall, I mean, he has the luxury of only using 5 bowlers, and he would go back to Livingston if Krunal, he's unlikely to bowl his full quota of overs, because you would expect Suyash Sharma to bowl his full quota of overs. So where is he trying to fill in that 1 over? And I think it was a good punt taken by Rajat, and he in fact did KL in with that flighted delivery, which he eventually managed to hit for 6 over the side screen. He literally deceived him with the line that he bowled. So there was a chance. There's always a point in time or in the game wherein you take those calculated risks, and I don't really see anything wrong with Livy bowling at that point in time.
Yeah, and to be fair, there are two right-handers in, and like wrist spinners had done better than finger spinners till that point in the match. So
Yeah, it was. We could understand why, because this is a more overall point. I think there was one comment a little while earlier which said they could have even lost the previous game against MI. So is bowling still a concern for RCB? Well, I would turn it around. The bowlers brought them back in the game, in the MI game.
Yeah,
didn't
the
they?
way Hardik started in the last game.
Yeah.
So you have to give credit to Hazelwood and Bhuvi, the way
Sure.
they have bowled. So they actually pulled the game back for them.
Anish saying you can give Patidar a pass for today. I think that's fair. He didn't get the runs, dropped that catch, tough as it was. But let's leave it there. This is another one. What about the surface? Would RCB have asked for this kind of surface? Varun Iyengar asks. They seem to be struggling at home again. Yes, their only 2 losses have been at home in both games. I think at least there's been a comment on the pitch that it's not what we expected the Chinnaswamy to play like. So I can't think that they are asking for this surface. Surely not.
Well, we all know Chinnaswamy is known for run fest.
Yeah.
And last game, if you see, it was a bit there for the seamers, and today it was there for the spinners. So I don't think so. They must be asking for something like this.
Okay, what else do we have? Silent Man says the run out changed the game. Oh, we're going all the way back, I think, to Phil Salt's run out. Big moment, though. Big moment, you would think.
Massive, massive moment, and the fact that he was striking the ball so well till that point in time, and not only against Stark but also against Akshar, he was really striking it so well. So had he stayed for a couple of overs more, the things could have been totally different. So yes, that was a massive moment in the game.
Ujjwal saying if anyone should play at a second home, it's RCB rather than Delhi, PBKS or RR.
yeah, but this hasn't felt like home, to be fair. I mean, as Piyush was saying, the pitches are not what you'd expect from the Chinnaswamy.
I mean, even when the pitches have been flat, that's been a different conversation.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we've often said sometimes RCB's best chance might be if they go away from the Chinnaswamy. They've done so well on the road this time. Varun Iyengar says a passionate KL, so good, happy for him. Kushal says lovely for KL Rahul. There's a lot of love coming for KL Rahul, and that's what I'd love to see. Dustin, otherwise, has just spoilt me over the years and all. Varun is also saying great job Cricket Info team for the IPL coverage. Analysis has been extremely good. Keep up the good work. It's come on the day you are here, not when Matt Roller is here. Thank you, Mr. Bangar and Mr. Chawla, always terrific. Thank you so much for that. We love having cricket chat and we love you to be part of the conversation. What else do we have? DC needs to open with Faf and KL, says Uday Verma. Well, do you need to open with KL, even though he had a match-winning innings last game at Chepauk and at 4 here?
The conversation should be, I mean, is there any other batter who can replace Jake Fraser-McGurk? What are the options that they have? At one point, they had the option of Harry Brook, but he's pulled out of the IPL. So, what are the options that they have?
They have Indian options. That they would have to go with either Samir Rizvi or Karun Nair.
I can't help but think that Harry Brook's withdrawal was a blessing in disguise for them, because I don't know if Faf would have played every game or Fraser-McGurk, but this way KL comes in at this 4-5 position where maybe Brook would have had to play that role.
But what I believe is that not necessarily the top order, but if there is a case for somebody to get in this DC team, it has to be Karun Nair at number 3.
Sure.
Because he's in terrific form, and whatever we've seen of Porel so far.
He's got 150, I think, this season and started okay, but I mean, I can see your point. Maybe they'll use the 4 like Gujarat. You were making the point yesterday. It's not necessarily something that they need to, think too much
because
about.
in the absence of the top order really firing, you require a more solid number 3 there, which a Karun Nair can give. And then even at 5, you have an Akshar. So, do you think that Akshar at 5 and the kind of innings and the approach that he had today, that really tells me that they would certainly think about it, if not straight away go to it.
A quick couple of questions on some of the players we haven't mentioned. I'm glad this has come up. Vipraj Nigam, who partners Kuldeep so well. I think you'll be very pleased to talk about Vipraj, who played his part and took the big wicket of Kohli.
Well, the way he's bowling at the moment, it's about when you come at a big stage, how well you can bowl and how well you can handle the pressure. We know he has got that talent, but to handle that pressure, and if you remember in that over, he got hit for 6 when he bowled into the stump, and then going away from him, flighting the delivery outside off stump and driving Virat Kohli to play that kind of a stroke, I think that says a lot about his bowling and his skills and that big heart which he bowls with.
And he's kind of changed I think the perception of this DC team, because before this tournament, people didn't know whether they had an all-rounder, but now they actually have batting till 8 because Vipraj comes in at 8 and he's another bowler. So it's kind of made them a really complete side, really.
He's terrific buy, Vipraj Nigam. Terrific buy. You think, put him right up there with some of the others that we've spoken about, Digvesh Rathi. And anyway, that's for that. There is a quick question on RCB's overseas. With Livingston's doing enough to pull his weight. They have Jacob Bethel in the team. They have Shepherd in the team. But do you sense RCB can do any better with their overseas resources, Sanjay?
I mean, at the moment, it seems that they're playing Livy as an impact player, as also his overs are important to them in terms of the spin bowling. And there would be a time, maybe another game or so, wherein they will certainly start to think
I think they need more from Livy the batter, don't
they?
they?
Need more from Livy the batter, for sure.
He had one good innings against GT, I think. He had about 15 chances in that innings.
Yeah, I mean, that's... yeah, I'm glad you said it both in the same breath. Yeah. I mean, nothing against Liam Livingston, but yeah.
Also, by the way, another thing I noticed was for the second match in a row, Hazelwood went for 22 runs in the middle, like in 1 over. Hardik took him down and KL took him down, and he's been so good. Apart from that, is there anything where...
Hazelwood's death bowling, you're saying?
No, this was more on the middle overs. So today was the 15th over or the 14th over. Even the one against Hardik was in the middle overs. He actually came back well in the death. Is there something? I mean, it's just 2 overs, but...
It's a tough taskmaster.
I can't tell you, sir. I can't
I'm just asking, is there reason for that, or is just even the best bowlers go for runs sometimes? Is it
Obviously,
as
it's going to be the case because there are going to be times in IPL wherein even the quality of batsmanship is of such high standards.
That's it.
That the bowlers are going to go for runs.
I mean, think of the 2 guys who took him down.
I know. Fair.
In the last game with the innings he was in KL today.
That's fair.
Yeah. I love you, Dustin. I'm just having fun.
You wait till Harry Brooks scores 700 runs in a season 2 years from now, and then I'll remind everybody of your comment.
What was my comment?
That it's a blessing in disguise.
That's perfectly good. It has nothing to do with Harry Brooks.
Well,
it's how it helped them. Piyush is there.
For Harry Brooks, the moment Harry Brooks will walk in, anyone will get a wrist spinner in, and then he is done and dusted.
Piyush Chawla. I love it. The new England T20 captain, or white ball captain, that is just PC's one-line summation. Look, I have nothing against Harry Brooks. I'm just going with this team did all right. Otherwise, they might have been confused about their overseas combination. Well done, Delhi Capitals. You really looked the part. Let's just tell you what KL Rahul has said today after a second successive Player of the Match award. Slightly tricky pitch, but what helped me was being behind the stumps for 20 overs, watching how the wicket played. On a wicket like this, I knew what my pockets were. If I wanted to hit a big 6, I knew what pockets to target. And keeping gave me a feeler for where other batters were dismissed and where they hit the 6s. It's quite nice. I mean, while we've always discussed it, I don't think many keeper batters have actually said it so emphatically. That just being behind the stumps gives him such a great understanding of how to bat.
And that's why the number of batsmen do well when they are wicket keepers, and at times even a part-time wicket keeper can learn so much by standing behind the stumps. Clearly it gives a great advantage, as also you have to have the necessary skill sets to do the thing that KL does.
There was a question for Piyush. So why can't Rishabh Pant also benefit from such knowledge?
But why this question especially for me?
It's come through this, through the live comments.
See, it's a phase which Rishabh is going through. You know, the kind of deliveries he are getting out to, you'll never see Rishabh Pant getting out to those kind of deliveries. And it's just a matter of one knock, because he's a kind of player, the day he'll bat, he'll face 20 odd balls, he'll look a different batter altogether. So it's just a matter of time.
And whoever asked this question, have they started watching cricket at the beginning of this IPL or? Huh?
Man.
Why would somebody ask a question about whether Rishabh Pant has benefited from keeping or not? I mean, he's been one of India's best test batters over the past 5 years.
IPL, Dustin. IPL, yeah. Now, I promise all our viewers that Matt Roll will be back tomorrow. Dustin has just done an admirable job filling in for him today. But Dustin, always good to have you. Let's go to our rapid fire review before any more fire comes through on this live show. But terrific game for Delhi. And let's be fair, RCB played good game, wouldn't you think? They fought to a 160 score. I just want one sort of summation on RCB. it's not a bad game for them to lose. Would it be fair to say they made a fight over 160 as well with the ball?
Yeah, because nowadays the things are happening. No matter how the wicket is, the moment team gets 160 odd, so everyone thinks we are out of the game. But now the way they fought back, the fast bowlers, the way they bowled in the power play,
Bhuvi
lot of credit goes to their bowling attack. And later, maybe that one odd over, and when you have special player like KL Rahul and Tristan Stubb, and the kind of partnership they had, it's not going to happen every day. Today they just played some special knock, both of them.
Okay. Rapid fire review. Gentlemen, you know how this works. Quick fire review of the game. Mr. Bangar, let's start with you. Has KL Rahul finally understood his perfect T20 batting template?
He's going to bat differently. This is not the only way that he's going to bat because he's a versatile player and the needs of the team are of paramount importance to him. No doubt, he had to bat a little bit differently at Punjab and a little bit differently at Lucknow as well. So a new team, a new attitude and a new approach as well for KL Rahul.
Beautiful. Piyush Chawla, 4 for 35 in 8 overs. What did you enjoy most in Kuldeep and Vipraj's display?
Well, the way both of them bowled with the big heart. We all know Chinnaswamy is a small stadium. You don't see a lot of spinners giving a lot of air to the ball. I am one of those who will never give air to the ball. But the way both of them bowled, that was really a treat to watch.
Okay, Dustin, you can take this one as well. How differently could the game have panned out if Phil Salt wasn't run out?
Yeah, it was definitely a big moment. I mean, it's difficult to say, but that there was, I think, 2 runs of the next 13 balls or 3 runs of the next 13 balls. So massive momentum shift.
All right, let's go to Mr. Bangar again. Did RCB get carried away by the start in the first few overs? What could they have done better with the bat?
Could have reassessed maybe after 2 or 3 wickets and the manner in which the ball was gripping could have been a different tale if they had gotten to 180, 185. Imagine the amount of work that DC would have to put in, chase that down.
All right, Piyush, back to you. Kuldeep, Vipraj or KL Rahul, who had the biggest impact on today's result, do you think?
Well, see, when the game started, after the first inning, it looked like Kuldeep and Vipraj. But after 6 overs, the kind of situation they were in, DC team. So I feel KL Rahul.
Okay, and this, all of you can take this. Are Delhi looking like one of the most balanced sides in this year's IPL? Dustin?
Yeah, I just made the point about Vipraj giving them batting till 8 and 6 bowlers. Not many teams have that.
Mr. Bangar?
I think good bowling attack. They still have some issues at the top of the order. Top order hasn't really fired for them as was expected. But with KL Rahul and Stubbs, like now Stubbs' second back-to-back season that he's really producing the goods for them, clearly a team to watch out for.
Piyush?
Yeah, they look like a good balanced side, but there is always a scope of improvement, as Sanjay Bhai mentioned. Top of the order, and I'll say the fast bowling department just feel about that. Maybe few wickets with the new ball. Like you can't be dependent on Stark and Mukesh all the time.
Yeah.
When spinners are bowling in that power play, they have to come in the party as well.
All right, thank you very much. Well, the good thing is when you're winning, you can afford to carry players
Correct.
who aren't in form. And I think Jake Fraser-McGurk would be very happy that he will return now to the Arun Jaitley Stadium where finally Delhi will play in Delhi. And they've got back-to-back games against MI and RR coming up over the weekend. So that's a couple of games. Let's see if Delhi can make it 5 and 6 out of 6. They've never won 4 to start a season. As far as RCB go, I think they'd love to just get away from the Chinnaswamy, and that's what they do. They go to Jaipur for a game against the Rajasthan Royals over the weekend as well, where I know Piyush is going to be with us. So thank you very much to everyone. Let's look at the points table and just see what that means. Delhi Capitals, yes, they're locked on points with Gujarat having played a game less, but they're the only unbeaten team at this stage of the IPL. RCB, no problem, they're still in those top 4 spots, and their only 2 defeats now have both been at home, perhaps an area of concern. Their schedule is such that they play 1 home and 1 away game throughout till the end of the season. So hopefully RCB will still be in the top 4 for the sake of RCB fans coming up. Mr. Bangar, always a pleasure, sir.
Thank you so
much. I will look forward to your company again tomorrow. Mr. Chawla, you will also be with us again very shortly.
Just a 1-day break.
Just a day break. Hardly a break. You're all at our friends at JioStar. Dustin, long break for you after everything you've done and said today. I'll drag Matt out of his room if I have to. But always good to have you, Dustin Silgardo, ESPN Cricket Info's stats sorcerer and senior editor and everything else. that
KL
you-
Rahul fan.
Okay, let me close the show. I don't want to drag this on anymore. Aruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket Info. Timeout will be live tomorrow for the small matter of KKR taking on MS Dhoni's Chennai Super Kings. See you tomorrow.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.